Have you ever felt stuck when speaking English, searching for the right words, translating from your native language in your head? It's a common struggle, and it's what often separates fluent speakers from learners. The secret isn't just about knowing more vocabulary or grammar rules. It's about changing the way you think. Welcome to our guide on how to start thinking in English to finally achieve that fluency you've been dreaming of. So, what does thinking in English actually mean? It's the ability to formulate your thoughts directly in English without the mental gymnastics of translating. When you see a dog, your brain just thinks dog, not your native word for it first. This is the goal. It makes your speech faster, more natural, and a lot less stressful. But how do you get there? It sounds difficult, but it's a skill you can build step by step. Let's start small. I mean really small. Begin by naming the objects around you in English. Right now, look around. What do you see? Chair, table, window, lamp, book, phone. Say the words out loud or just in your head. Don't translate. The goal is to create a direct link between the object and the English word. Do this every day. When you're making coffee, think coffee maker, mug, water, spoon. When you're getting dressed, think shirt, pants, socks. This simple exercise starts to build the foundation for thinking in English without you even realizing it. Once you're comfortable naming single objects, it's time to level up to simple sentences. Describe what you are doing, again, in your head. For example, I am walking to the kitchen. I am opening the fridge. I am thirsty. I want some water. Keep the sentences short and simple. You're not trying to write a novel. You're just narrating your own life. This is your personal, private English practice. There's no one to judge you, so there's no pressure. This internal monologue is incredibly powerful because it gets you used to forming basic English sentence structures automatically. Now, let's talk about a major roadblock: the urge to translate. To break this habit, you need to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. A great tool for this is using an English to English dictionary. When you come across a new word, don't look up its translation. Instead, look up its definition in English. This forces your brain to stay in English mode. For example, if you look up the word enormous, the definition might be extremely large. Now you've learned a new word and reinforced another one, all without leaving the English language. This is a game changer. The next step is to make English a part of your daily routine and hobbies. What do you enjoy doing? Do you like cooking? Find recipes in English. Love video games. Switch the game's language setting to English. Do you follow news or celebrities? Change your social media and news apps to English feeds. Listen to English music and try to understand the lyrics. Watch movies and TV shows. Start with English subtitles, then move to no subtitles at all. The key is to connect English with things you are passionate about. This makes learning feel less like a chore and more like fun. You're not just studying English, you're living your life, but in English, ready for a bigger challenge. Let's get that inner voice to start thinking more complex thoughts in English. Start by planning your day in English. When you wake up, think, okay, first I need to brush my teeth, then I'll have breakfast. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I need to remember to call my friend later. Again, it's all happening in your head. You can also try summarizing things in English. After you watch a movie or read an article, take a minute to summarize the main points to yourself in English. What was it about? What did you think of it? This helps you practice organizing your thoughts and expressing opinions, which is crucial for real conversations. At some point, you have to move from thinking to speaking. It's time to find a speaking partner. This can be a friend who is also learning a language exchange partner online, or even a tutor. The goal is to have low-pressure conversations. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Every fluent speaker you've ever met has made thousands of them. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. When you're talking, try to resist the urge to pause and translate. If you don't know a word, try to describe it using other words you know. For example, if you forget the word scissors, you could say the tool you use to cut paper. This is a skill called circumlocution, and it's what native speakers do all the time. It keeps the conversation flowing and challenges your brain to be creative. Another fun and effective technique is talking to yourself. I know, it might sound a bit strange, but it works. When you're alone, at home, or in your car, talk out loud in English. Describe what you see, express your opinions on a topic, or pretend you're explaining something to someone. For example, "Wow, the traffic is really bad today. I hope I'm not late. I should have left earlier." This practice bridges the gap between your internal English thoughts and external English speech. It gets your mouth and your brain working together, improving your pronunciation and your confidence at the same time. There's no fear of judgment, so you can experiment freely. Let's also talk about patience and mindset. Learning to think in a new language is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days when you feel like you're not making any progress. That's completely normal. The key is to be consistent. Even 15 minutes of dedicated practice each day is better than a 2-hour session once a week. Celebrate small victories. The first time you have a short dream in English, or the moment you understand a joke in a movie without subtitles, these are huge milestones. Stay positive and remind yourself why you started. Fluency is a journey, and every single step you take, no matter how small, is moving you forward. So, let's recap the journey to thinking in English. Start by naming objects around you. Then, create simple sentences to describe your actions. Use an English-to-English dictionary to stop translating. Immerse yourself by switching your daily entertainment and information sources to English. Plan your day and summarize content in your head. Find a partner to practice speaking and don't be afraid to make mistakes. And finally, talk to yourself out loud to build confidence. It's a process of gradually replacing your old habits with new, more effective ones. Remember, the goal is to make English an automatic part of your thought process, not a separate subject you study. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you will slowly but surely start to think in English. In Chapter 2, we move to the second pillar of fluency, something even more powerful than vocabulary or grammar: confidence. Because the truth is simple. Many learners know enough English, but they are afraid to use it. Let's talk about that fear. Let's understand it. And most importantly, let's break it. Understanding the fear of speaking English does not mean you are bad at English. Fear means you care. Most learners are afraid of making mistakes, being judged, sounding stupid, forgetting words, having a bad accent. This fear creates mental paralysis. You know the words, you know the grammar. But when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. This is not a language problem. It is a psychological problem, and psychological problems can be trained. The silent learner trap. Many English learners become what we call silent learners. They understand English, watch videos, listen to podcasts, read articles, but they rarely speak. Why? Because silence feels safe. But silence is dangerous. Silence tells your brain, speaking English is risky, and the brain always chooses safety over growth. To become fluent, you must teach your brain that speaking English is safe. Reframing mistakes. A mental shift lets completely change how you see mistakes. Mistakes are not failure, embarrassment, weakness, meekness. Mistakes are feedback, proof of learning. A necessary step. Think about this. You never learn to walk without falling. You never learn to speak as a child without mistakes. Why should English be different? Every mistake is a step forward, not backward. The confidence formula. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build. Here is the formula. Confidence equals small successes repeated daily. You don't become confident by speaking perfectly for 1 hour. You become confident by speaking imperfectly every day. 1 sentence today, 2 sentences tomorrow. A short conversation next week. This is how confidence grows. Controlled speaking. Start where you feel safe in. Start by speaking to native speakers immediately. That can be overwhelming. Instead, start with controlled speaking environments. Speaking to yourself, recording your voice, reading aloud, practicing with scripts. This allows you to speak without pressure. Your brain learns, I can speak English, and nothing bad happens. That is powerful conditioning. Recording yourself a powerful exercise. One of the most effective confidence-building techniques is voice recording. Try this. 1. Choose a simple topic: your day, your plans, your opinion. 2. Record yourself speaking for 1 to 2 minutes. 3. Do not stop or restart. 4. Listen without judgment. At first, you may feel uncomfortable. That's normal. But over time, your voice becomes familiar. Your pronunciation improves. Your confidence grows. Your voice becomes your ally, not your enemy. The pause is not your enemy. Many learners panic when they pause. They think pausing means I'm bad at English. This is false. Native speakers pause all the time. Pauses mean you are thinking, you are organizing ideas, you are speaking. Naturally replace panic with calm. Pause, breathe, continue. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is control. Using filler phrases to stay fluent. Speakers use filler phrases to buy time. Examples? Let me think. That's a good question. How can I explain this? These phrases reduce panic, maintain flow, increase confidence. Practice them daily. They are your lifeline in conversation. Speaking despite fear. Here is a hard truth. Fear will not disappear before you speak. Fear disappears because you speak. Confidence comes after action, not before. Speak with fear. Speak with mistakes. Speak anyway. Every time you do, fear becomes weaker. Real-life confidence exercise. Try this daily challenge. Day 1, 2, 3. Speak to yourself for 3 minutes. Day 4 to 6. Record your voice for 3 minutes. Day 7 to 10. Speak with one person online or offline. Day 11 to 14. Share your opinion in English comment, message, or voice. Step by step, your confidence grows. Rewiring your brain. Every time you speak English and survive, your brain rewires itself. It learns English is safe. This is how fear dies. Not by thinking, not by waiting, but by doing. Welcome to Chapter 3, where we tackle one of the biggest misunderstandings in language learning. Let's talk about pronunciation, but not in the way you think. This isn't about getting a perfect accent. It's about achieving something far more powerful: clarity and confidence. What you learn here will completely transform how you sound in English, not by making you sound native, but by making you sound clear, confident, and natural. First, let's destroy a huge myth. You do not need an American accent. You do not need a British accent. You absolutely do not need to sound like a native speaker to be fluent. Think about it. Many native speakers have strong regional accents and different ways of pronouncing words, yet they communicate perfectly. Fluency isn't about imitating an accent. Fluency is about being understood easily. Your accent is a part of who you are, part of your identity. Clarity, on the other hand, is a skill you can master. Let's focus on building that skill. So, why does pronunciation feel so incredibly hard? It's not because you're bad at languages. It's because English spelling is famously confusing. Letters don't always match the sounds they're supposed to make. Plus, your mouth has spent years, maybe decades, training for the sounds of your native language. Now, you're asking it to learn a whole new set of muscle movements. This isn't a test of intelligence. It's muscle training. And how do muscles learn? Through repetition. Now let's talk about the music of English. This is a game changer. English isn't spoken word by word, like a robot. It's spoken with a flow, like music. It has stress, rhythm, and intonation. If you ignore this music, your English will always sound a bit flat or robotic. But once you learn the music, your English comes alive. It sounds natural, engaging, and fluent. Let's break down exactly how to do this. It all starts with word stress. This is the heart of clarity. In English, not all syllables get the same energy. Take the word present. If I say present with the stress on the first syllable, it's a noun, a gift. If I say present with the stress on the second syllable, it's a verb, to give something. Same spelling, different stress, totally different meaning. Getting the stress wrong is a direct path to confusion. Getting it right is a shortcut to clarity. So, from now on, when you learn a new word, don't just learn its spelling. Learn its stress pattern. Say it out loud and feel which part is louder and longer. This one habit alone will dramatically improve how well people understand you. Next, let's zoom out to sentence stress. Just like in words, not all words in a sentence are equal. We stress the important words, the content words, like nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And we weaken the small grammatical words, the function words, like to, a, the, of. For example, listen to this sentence. I want to learn English fast. Did you hear how want, learn, English? And fast were strong, while to was soft and quick. This creates the rhythm of English. A simple trick is to practice by whispering the small words and emphasizing the important ones. Try it. Your English will immediately sound more natural and less like you're reading from a list. And here's the real secret to that smooth, flowing sound of native speech: linking sounds. Native speakers don't put a pause between every word. They connect them. Words flow into each other. You hear want to become wanna and going to become gonna. This isn't lazy slang. It's how natural, efficient speech works. Instead of saying next week with a hard stop, you'll hear next T week, where the T almost disappears. To master this, you need to train your ears. Listen for these connections in movies or podcasts. Then try to repeat the phrases exactly as you hear them, without separating the words. This is how you train for real-world fluency. Now, let's add emotion with intonation. Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice, the melody of your speech. It's how you show emotion, interest, and confidence. Think about the word really. I can say it flat. Really? That sounds bored. I can make my voice go up. Really? Now I'm curious. Or I can exclaim it. Really? Now I'm surprised. Same word. 3 completely different feelings. Practice this. Take one simple sentence and try saying it with different emotions: happy, sad, angry, curious. Record yourself and listen back. Notice how the melody of your voice changes the meaning. This is how you make your English expressive and engaging. Here's a counterintuitive tip. If you want to sound more fluent, slow down. So many learners think speaking fast makes them sound fluent, but they're really just trying to hide their mistakes. This actually makes things worse, leads to unclear pronunciation, stress errors, and a feeling of tension. Truly fluent speakers prioritize clarity, not speed. Speaking slowly and deliberately gives your mouth time to form the sounds correctly. It reduces your fear of making mistakes and, as a result, boosts your confidence. Speed will come naturally later. For now, focus on clarity first. To put all this into practice, there is one technique that is more powerful than any other: shadowing. Shadowing is the ultimate pronunciation workout. Here's how you do it. First, choose a short audio clip, maybe 1 or 2 minutes long, with a speaker you like. Listen to it once, just to get the gist. Then, play it again. But this time, speak along with the speaker in real time. Try to copy everything: their rhythm, their stress, their intonation, their emotion. Don't stop to analyze or correct yourself. Just mimic them. This trains your mouth muscles the same way a musician trains their fingers to play an instrument. It's direct, active, and incredibly effective. As you practice, I want you to develop what I call mouth awareness. Pronunciation is a physical act. You have to pay attention to what your mouth is doing. What are your lips doing? Where's your tongue? Is your jaw open or closed? I know it might feel strange at first, but try practicing in front of a mirror. Watch your mouth as you make different sounds. This physical awareness helps your brain build the muscle memory you need for new sounds. Your mouth learns through conscious awareness and physical repetition, not just from reading about rules in a book. Let's quickly cover a few common mistakes many learners make. One is adding extra vowel sounds at the end of words where they don't exist. Another is stressing every single word equally, which creates that robotic sound we talked about. And finally, speaking without any rhythm. The solution to all of these is to stop focusing on individual words. Learn words in phrases. Copy how real people speak, not how words are written on a page. And most importantly, practice speaking out loud every single day. Progress comes from active imitation, not passive theory. So, what does a good practice routine look like? It doesn't have to take hours. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Here's a simple plan. Spend 3 minutes repeating phrases from a native speaker. Then, 5 minutes doing a shadowing exercise. After that, spend 3 minutes reading a short text out loud, but slowly, focusing on clear sounds. And finally, spend 2 minutes just speaking freely about your day. This routine is short, simple, and most importantly, effective. To wrap this all up, the biggest change you need to make is a psychological one. Stop asking yourself, is my pronunciation perfect? That question only leads to frustration. Instead, start asking, am I clear? Am I confident? Clarity builds confidence, and confidence, in turn, improves your pronunciation. They create a positive feedback loop. They grow together. So slow down, take a deep breath, and just focus on being understood. Thank you for listening. Keep practicing and speak English every single day. I'll see you in the next chapter.